forged family. We all know what it's like to feel unchosen, watching everyone else laugh, connect, build their tribes, while we fade into the background. But here's the truth we need to hear right now. Not all rejection is a loss. Some of it is protection, because the real question isn't why don't they choose me? The real question is, do these people even make us stronger? Here's what we're walking away with today. The understanding that being unchosen by the wrong people is a gift, and the courage to start building connections with the ones who will actually make us stronger. We're going to do it with one simple, intentional act, repeated for 7 days. Not random invites, not desperate attempt to belong anywhere, but strategic, courageous invitations to the people who will help us grow. This isn't about collecting friends. It's about forging a tribe that sharpens us, challenges us, and refuses to let us stay small. Stay with me. By the end of this, we'll understand why chasing the wrong approval kept us weak, and how leading one intentional invite a day can rebuild everything. Let's start here. Somewhere along the way, we started believing that any connection is better than none. That being chosen by anyone for anything would fill the emptiness. So we waited. We hoped. We bent ourselves into shapes we didn't recognize, just to fit into circles that were never meant for us. And when they didn't choose us, we took it personally. We told ourselves we weren't enough, not interesting enough, not cool enough, not worthy enough. But what if we've been asking the wrong question this whole time? What if the problem isn't that we're unchosen, it's that we've been trying to be chosen by people who would never help us become who we're meant to be? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane." Translation: not every tribe is worth joining. Not every group will make us better. Some will drain us. Some will keep us small. Some will celebrate our mediocrity because it makes them feel comfortable. And those people, the ones who don't choose us, they're doing us a favor. Because here's what we're learning today. Being unchosen by the wrong people isn't rejection. It's redirection. It's life saying, not them. Keep moving. Your people are out there, but you have to be brave enough to find them. So let's reframe this. We don't just want to be chosen. We want to be chosen by people who will make us stronger. People who challenge us. People who celebrate our growth, not our comfort. People who refuse to let us settle for half-lives and surface-level conversations. We want the kind of friends who text us at 6 a.m. because they know we said we'd go to the gym and they're holding us accountable. We want the kind of people who call us out when we're making excuses, who remind us of who we said we wanted to become. We want the tribe that doesn't just accept us as we are, they push us toward who we could be. That's the group we're building. That's the circle we're forging. And it starts with one realization. We've been wasting our energy trying to be chosen by people who are never going to help us grow. Here's the challenge, and it's going to change everything. For the next 7 days, lead one intentional invite a day to the right people. Not the ones who make us feel small, not the ones who ghost us, not the ones who only show up when it's convenient, the ones who will sharpen us, the friend who's also trying to level up, the person who's building something, the one who's honest, who's hungry, who's refusing to settle, the person we admire, the one we've been too afraid to reach out to because we didn't think we were there yet. Those people. That's who we're inviting. One person, one day, one courageous, specific invitation. Hey, I'm trying to build better habits. Want to work out together this week? I've been thinking about that project you mentioned. Coffee Friday? I'd love to hear more. I'm trying to level up this year. You're someone I respect. Want to grab lunch and talk about what you're working on? That's it. One invite, every day, for 7 days. But here's the key. We're not inviting just anyone. We're inviting the people who will make us better. And here's the thing, the right people might not be in our contacts yet. Maybe they're in that online community we've been lurking in for months. Maybe they're at that local meetup we've been too afraid to attend. Maybe they're commenting on posts about the exact thing we're trying to build. So this challenge isn't just about reaching out to people we know. It's about actively putting ourselves in spaces where the right people gather. Join that group focused on growth. Comment on that post from someone who's building what we want to build. Show up to that fitness class. Attend that workshop. Send that message to someone whose work inspires us, even if we've never met them. The right tribe isn't always waiting in our phone. Sometimes we have to go find them. Sometimes we have to step into spaces that feel uncomfortable at first. Spaces where people are actually doing the work, having the conversations, building the lives we want. And when we find those spaces, we lead, we invite, we show up with the same courage. Hey, I saw your post about starting that morning routine. I'm trying to do the same. Want to keep each other accountable? I've been following your progress on this project. Really inspiring. Would love to connect and hear more about your process. I'm new to this group, but I'm serious about growth. Anyone want to grab coffee and talk about what we're working on? That's how we find our people. Not by waiting for them to notice us, but by stepping into the right rooms and being brave enough to start the conversation. And I know what we're thinking right now. What if they say no? What if they think I'm weird? What if I'm not good enough to be in their circle yet? Let me ask you this. What if they've been waiting for someone like us to reach out? What if on day 2 that person we admire says yes, and we realize they've been looking for the same thing? What if on day 5 we have a conversation that changes the trajectory of our year? What if by day 7 we realize we were never unchosen? We just weren't aiming at the right people. Here's what happens when we stop chasing approval and start building intentionally. We stop settling for surface-level connection. We've spent too long accepting crumbs, accepting people who only text us when they're bored, accepting groups that tolerate us but don't celebrate us. No more. We're done being the backup plan. We're building a tribe that actually shows up. We discover who's worth our energy. Some people will say no. Some will ghost. And that's not a failure, that's clarity. Because this challenge isn't about collecting yesies. It's about finding the people who meet us halfway, the ones who are also hungry, also growing, also refusing to stay small. Those are the connections worth building. The rest, they were never going to help us build strength anyway. We become the kind of person worth choosing. Here's the secret. The right people don't choose us because we're perfect. They choose us because we're intentional, because we're brave enough to lead, because we're building something worth being part of. And the moment we start inviting with purpose, we become magnetic to the people who matter. Seneca said, associate with people who are likely to improve you, not people who make us comfortable, not people who keep us the same, people who improve us. And if we don't have those people yet, we go find them. That's what this challenge is about. Not waiting to be chosen, not hoping the right people notice us, but actively, courageously, intentionally building the tribe that will make us stronger. One invite, one day, one step toward the life we actually want. Now, let's be clear about what this is not. This is not about chasing people who don't care. This is not about proving our worth to anyone. This is not about becoming fake, transactional, or desperate. This is about stepping into the version of ourselves who refuses to settle for the wrong tribe. Because here's what we've forgotten. We don't need everyone to choose us. We need the right people to choose us. And they will, once we're brave enough to invite them. The people who seem effortlessly surrounded by the right tribe. They didn't wait. They didn't hope. They built it. One intentional connection at a time. One courageous invite at a time. One relationship that sharpened them, challenged them, and refused to let them stay small. We can do the same. We will do the same. So here's how we start. Day 1. Pick one person who will make us better. Someone we admire. Someone who's building something. Someone who's hungry. It could be someone we know or someone we've never met but whose work inspires us. Send the invite. Be specific. Be brave. Day 2. Do it again. Different person. Same intentionality. Maybe this time it's someone in that online group. Maybe it's someone at that meetup. Maybe it's someone whose content we've been following. Day 3. Notice how it feels. Not the response, the act. Notice the shift inside us when we stop chasing approval and start building with purpose. Day 4 through 7. Keep going. One intentional invite. One day. No matter what happened yesterday. Keep showing up in the right spaces. Keep leading. Keep building. And here's the most important part. We celebrate every invite we send, not just the yeses. Because every time we choose courage over comfort, we win. Every time we aim at the right people instead of settling for anyone, we win. Every time we refuse to be unchosen by the wrong tribe, we win. The outcome? That's just a bonus. The real transformation happens in the decision to build intentionally. By day 7, something will have changed. Maybe we'll have plans with someone who challenges us. Maybe we'll have started a friendship that actually makes us better. Maybe we'll have discovered that the person we admired was just waiting for us to reach out first. Maybe we'll have found a whole community of people who are on the same path. Or maybe we'll have learned that some people aren't worth our energy. And that's okay, because we'll also have learned something far more valuable. We are not defined by who chooses us. We are defined by the tribe we're brave enough to build. And that tribe, it starts with one intentional invite. Epictetus reminds us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. So let me ask, who do we want to be? Do we want to be the person who settles for any connection just to feel less alone? Or do we want to be the person who builds a tribe that sharpens us, challenges us, and refuses to let us stay small? The answer is in the next 7 days. One invite, one intentional connection, one act of courage that changes everything. Forged family, we're not unchosen. We're just learning to aim at the right people. And this week, we start. Stay forged.